Welcome to Sleepy Holidays, a channel where the world's most curious traditions are transformed into gentle bedtime stories. Here, we explore the strange and wonderful customs that have shaped our celebrations across cultures and centuries. Each episode invites you to drift into history's embrace, where peculiar practices become soothing tales. If these stories bring you comfort, remember to like and subscribe to help us share more unusual journeys through time's most fascinating celebrations. Tonight, we venture into the realm of Christmas curiosities, where familiar traditions reveal their most unexpected origins. From ancient winter rituals to peculiar modern customs, we'll discover how humanity's strangest celebrations became our most beloved holidays. Let the soft whisper of falling snow carry you back through time as we uncover the delightfully weird roots of Christmas magic. Close your eyes and let these gentle tales of tradition guide you toward peaceful dreams. Chapter 1. Winter's Whisper, a Prelude. In a village painted white by winter's gentle hand, cobblestone streets glisten beneath the soft glow of lantern light. Laughter dances on frosted air while hushed voices weave through narrow lanes like silk ribbons. Here, where time moves slowly as honey, we begin our journey into the heart of humanity's oldest winter celebrations. The scene unfolds like a storybook illustration, inviting us deeper into winter's ancient embrace. Long before Christmas bells ever chimed, our ancestors gathered in the darkness of winter solstice. They understood something profound about the longest night, that light becomes most precious when shadows reign supreme. In caves warmed by dancing flames, primitive communities created their first celebrations. These weren't just parties, they were acts of defiance against winter's cold grip. Each flickering fire represented hope. Each shared meal became a promise of survival until spring's return. The drums began at sunset, their deep rhythms echoing off stone walls like heartbeats of the earth itself. Ancient voices rose in melodies that had no words, only the pure expression of human spirit refusing to surrender to darkness. Around the central fire, bodies swayed in primal dance. This was humanity's first Christmas, though they had no name for it yet. Only the instinctive understanding that together, warmth and joy could triumph over winter's harsh solitude. The feast was simple but sacred, roots and preserved meats shared with reverent gratitude. Each bite taken slowly, savored not just for nourishment, but for the miracle of having food when the world lay barren. Elders told stories by firelight, their weathered voices painting images of summers past and springs to come. Children listened with wide eyes, learning that celebration wasn't luxury but necessity. These gatherings planted the first seeds of Christmas tradition, in soil made rich by human connection. As civilizations bloomed, so did their winter rituals. The Romans brought Saturnalia, a festival where social order turned delightfully upside down. Masters served slaves, gifts were exchanged with joyous abandon. The Norse contributed Yule, with its burning logs and endless feasting that lasted 12 sacred nights. Each culture added its own thread to winter's tapestry, weaving together customs that would one day become the Christmas we recognize, though transformed beyond their creator's wildest imagination. The evergreen tree stood silent witness to these evolving celebrations, its needles dark against winter's white canvas. To ancient peoples, these trees held special magic. While other plants surrendered to winter's touch, evergreens remained vibrantly alive. They became symbols of persistence, of life's refusal to yield completely to death's cold season. In Germany, the first Christmas trees would bloom with candles and simple ornaments, transforming ancient tree worship into something entirely new and wonderful. The transformation came gradually, like snow accumulating flake by flake, until the landscape changes completely. Christian missionaries encountered these winter celebrations and saw opportunity rather than opposition. Instead of destroying beloved traditions, they gently reshaped them. Solstice became Christmas, honoring Christ's birth with the same joy their ancestors brought to welcoming returning light. The fusion was so seamless that most never noticed, ancient and new dancing together in perfect harmony through the centuries. In medieval times, Christmas grew stranger and more wonderful. The Feast of Fools turned cathedrals into theatres of sacred silliness, where priests and peasants traded places in holy comedy. The Lord of Misrule governed holiday chaos, ensuring that even the most solemn celebrations included laughter. These weren't sacrilegious acts but expressions of divine joy, recognition that the sacred and silly could coexist beautifully. Christmas was becoming a season where normal rules bent, allowing magic to flourish in everyday life. Across the ocean, new traditions took root in foreign soil. Dutch settlers brought Sinterklaas, the gift-giving saint, who would evolve into something uniquely American. Puritan opposition only made Christmas grow more creative, celebrations moving from churches to homes, from public squares to intimate family gatherings. Each attempt to suppress holiday joy only caused it to adapt and flourish in new forms. Christmas was proving remarkably resilient, bending, but never breaking under cultural pressure. The Victorian era wrapped Christmas in sentiment and spectacle, creating many traditions we now consider timeless. Prince Albert's Christmas tree sparked a decorating revolution, while Charles Dickens' stories painted Christmas as the season of redemption and generosity. Christmas cards began spreading holiday wishes across great distances, connecting hearts separated by miles. The holiday was becoming more elaborate, more commercial, yet somehow more deeply personal. Each generation added layers while preserving the essential spirit of winter celebration. The strangest traditions often had the most practical origins. Hanging stockings by the fireplace began as a simple way to dry wet socks, until legend transformed mundane necessity into magical possibility. Mistletoe, once a druid's sacred plant, became an excuse for stolen kisses at holiday parties. Even Santa's reindeer had humble beginnings, born from northern European stories about shamanic journeys to the spirit world. The ordinary became extraordinary through the gentle alchemy of time and tradition. As our journey through this snowy village draws toward its first pause, we see how celebration evolved from desperate hope to joyous tradition. What began as humanity's defiant response to winter's darkness became our most beloved holiday, layered with centuries of customs both sacred and silly. The evergreen tree stands taller now, its shadow stretching across the frozen path ahead. Its presence promises more stories to come, more strange and wonderful traditions waiting to be discovered. The village settles into peaceful quiet, lamplight flickering against frost-covered windows like earthbound stars. In this moment between day and night, between ancient past and present moment, we understand something profound about tradition. It isn't the preservation of old ways, but the continuous weaving of old wisdom into new forms. Christmas traditions survive not because they're perfect, but because they're perfectly adaptable, constantly evolving while maintaining their essential spirit of joy and connection. The evergreen's shadow lengthens across our snow-covered path, pointing toward journeys yet to come. Its ancient presence reminds us that the strangest Christmas traditions often hide in plain sight, waiting for curious minds to uncover their delightfully peculiar origins. As this first chapter closes, the tree stands sentinel over dreams of unusual customs and forgotten celebrations. Tomorrow's path will lead us deeper into Christmas curiosities, where familiar holidays reveal their most wonderfully weird secrets. Chapter 2. Evergreen Echoes. Nature's holiday beacon. Deep in the winter forest, where ancient fir and pine trees stand like silent sentinels, their branches heavy with fresh snow that sparkles like diamonds in the pale moonlight. The air is crisp and clean, filled with the sweet scent of evergreen needles and the promise of stories yet to be told about these magnificent guardians of winter's magic. Your footsteps crunch softly through the pristine snow, each step breaking the cathedral silence of this frozen woodland sanctuary. The sound echoes gently between the towering trees, creating a rhythm that seems to whisper secrets from ages past. Here, where time moves slowly, we begin to understand why these evergreen giants have captured human hearts for thousands of years, becoming symbols of hope and continuity. These majestic trees have witnessed countless winters, their needles remaining green when all else fades to brown and grey. In the hushed serenity of this snow-covered forest, we can almost hear the voices of our ancestors, those who first looked upon these evergreen wonders and saw something sacred, something that spoke to their deepest understanding of life's persistent beauty, even in darkness. Long before Christianity spread across Europe, ancient Germanic tribes wandered through forests much like this one, finding spiritual connection among these towering evergreens. They believed these trees held special power, remaining vibrant and alive when winter claimed everything else. To touch the bark of a sacred fir was to connect with the eternal, to feel the pulse of life continuing beneath winter's sleeping spell. The Germanic peoples saw these forests as temples, each evergreen tree a pillar supporting the sky above. They would gather beneath their branches to worship, leaving offerings of bread and wine at the roots, believing the trees carried their prayers upward through needle-laden boughs to the gods who controlled the seasons. These ancient rituals planted the first seeds of our Christmas tree tradition. Across the misty hills of ancient Britain, Celtic druids walked among similar groves, seeing in evergreens the promise that life would return after winter's long sleep. They called them symbols of inevitability, not death, but the certainty that spring would come again. The druids gathered evergreen boughs for their winter ceremonies, weaving them into wreaths that would circle their sacred fires throughout the darkest nights. These wise druids understood what we still feel today, that evergreen trees represent hope, persisting through hardship. They would hang branches inside their homes, filling the air with that clean pine-scented perfume that seemed to carry the promise of renewal. Each needle was a small green flame, defying winter's attempt to drain all color from the world, reminding families that warmth would return. Centuries flowed like winter rivers, carrying these ancient traditions through changing times and cultures. The custom of bringing evergreen trees indoors evolved slowly, passed from generation to generation like a cherished family recipe. In German villages, families began decorating small fir trees with candles and simple ornaments, creating the first recognizable ancestors of our modern Christmas trees, glowing softly in cottage windows. The tradition might have remained quietly Germanic, but love has a way of crossing borders. When young Queen Victoria fell for her German prince, Albert of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, she welcomed more than just a husband into her heart. Prince Albert brought with him the warm memory of Christmas trees from his childhood, their branches twinkling with candlelight and decorated with gingerbread and small treasures. In 1840, Prince Albert arranged for a magnificent evergreen tree to be set up in Windsor Castle, decorated according to the traditions of his German homeland. The British public, enchanted by their beloved Queen's happiness, embraced this charming custom with enthusiasm. Soon, Christmas trees were appearing in parlours across England, their branches heavy with ornaments, and surrounded by the laughter of delighted children discovering gifts beneath. The tradition spread like ripples on a pond, carried by immigrants and travellers to distant shores. Ships laden with evergreen saplings crossed the Atlantic, bringing the custom to America, where it took root in new soil. Each tree carried within its branches the accumulated wishes and dreams of countless families, connecting past and future through the simple act of decorating something beautiful together. Tonight, in a cozy living room somewhere, an elderly woman carefully hangs ornaments on her Christmas tree. Her weathered hands move slowly, deliberately, each decoration holding memories like pressed flowers in a book. A small wooden angel reminds her of childhood Christmases, when her grandmother's kitchen smelled of cinnamon, and her grandfather told stories by firelight, connecting her to an unbroken chain of holiday traditions. In her eyes, we see the sparkle of childhood wonder that never truly fades, only deepens with time and experience. She remembers decorating trees as a little girl, standing on tiptoes to reach the higher branches, the excitement of placing the star on top. Now, decades later, she performs the same ritual, her movements slower perhaps, but her heart still filled with the same magical anticipation. As she steps back to admire her handiwork, the tree seems to glow with more than just electric lights. It radiates the accumulated love of generations, connecting her to every person who has ever stood before a Christmas tree and felt that peculiar mixture of nostalgia and hope. The evergreen continues its ancient purpose, remaining green and alive, promising that beauty endures through all seasons. The twinkling lights on her tree begin to soften, their warm glow blending with the starlight streaming through frost-kissed windows. The boundaries between indoor celebration and the vast night sky seem to blur, creating a seamless tapestry of light and shadow. The Christmas tree stands as a beacon, drawing our attention upward, toward the infinite mysteries dancing in the darkness above. And so, as the evergreen's lights fade into gentle starlight, we find ourselves gazing upward at the vast celestial theatre overhead. The same stars that guided ancient Germanic tribes through winter forests now beckon us toward new mysteries, new stories waiting to unfold in the endless night sky. The Christmas tree has served as our bridge, connecting earth to heaven, past to present, wonder to wisdom. Chapter 3. Starlit Surprises. The Celestial Gift-Bearers. Tonight we lift our eyes from earthbound forests to the infinite canvas above, where stars have guided gift-bearers for centuries. Here, in this luminous realm between earth and sky, we discover the magical figures who traverse both darkness and light, bringing wonder to sleeping villages below. Let us follow their celestial paths and uncover the ancient stories written in starlight. Long before chimneys welcomed jolly visitors, there was Nicholas, a man whose generous heart would echo through the ages. In the ancient port of Myra, where Mediterranean waves lapped against weathered stones, this bishop walked among his people with quiet purpose. His robes rustled softly in harbour breezes, carrying the scent of salt and sanctity. Each dawn brought new opportunities for kindness. Each sunset witnessed his gentle miracles unfold. The stories tell of three sisters, their father heavy with despair, unable to provide dowries for their marriages. Nicholas heard their quiet sorrows carried on evening winds, felt their tears in his own heart. Under cover of star-blessed darkness, he approached their humble dwelling, gold coins warming in his weathered palms. Through an open window, the precious metal fell like captured starlight, transforming despair into dancing joy within those moonlit walls. Centuries passed, and Nicholas transformed, his earthly form dissolving into legend, his spirit taking flight across northern skies. From Mediterranean shores to frozen fjords, his essence travelled on winter winds, adapting to each culture's dreams and needs. Dutch sailors whispered his name, Sinterklaas, as their ships creaked through icy waters. Germanic tribes felt his presence in howling storms, a protector watching over their longest nights. In a small cottage nestled between pine and possibility, a child lies wakeful, ears tuned to every whisper of wind, every creak of settling snow. Tonight is the night when St. Nicholas travels, his celestial sleigh carving silent paths through star-studded darkness. The child's breath fogs against cold window panes, eyes searching the vast expanse above, waiting for that first glimpse of magic descending from the heavens, heart hammering with sweet anticipation. The child's grandmother had spoken of such nights, when the boundary between earth and sky grows thin as gossamer, when gift-bearers descend on ladders of light. Her voice had been soft as falling snow, describing how St. Nicholas rides the aurora itself, his beard flowing like winter wind, his eyes twinkling brighter than the North Star. The child pulls woolen blankets closer, imagination painting wonders across the ceiling, patience sweetened by possibility. Far across the northern seas, in lands where winter nights stretch endlessly, another tradition awakens with December's arrival. The Star Boys emerge from candlelit preparations, their voices harmonizing like silver bells, their lanterns casting dancing shadows on snow-covered stones. These young gift-bearers carry light through darkness, their procession winding between wooden houses, each step a note in winter's most beautiful symphony, each song a bridge between earth and stars. The Star Boys wear white robes that shimmer in lantern light, pointed caps adorned with golden stars, their faces glowing with the innocent joy of tradition. At their head walks the star-bearer himself, holding high a magnificent star, its 6 points catching and scattering light like captured aurora. Behind him follow the wise men, shepherds, and angels, a celestial parade made manifest in Scandinavian streets, bringing ancient stories to life through song and celebration. Their voices rise through frosty air, carrying melodies passed down through generations, songs that speak of journeys across desert and tundra, of following stars to find hope in darkest seasons. Each note hangs crystalline in the cold, each harmony weaving together past and present, creating a tapestry of sound that transforms ordinary streets into pathways to wonder. Windows open, faces appear, hearts warm despite the bitter cold outside. The procession moves like a river of light, flowing between houses where children press eager faces to frosted glass, where grandparents remember their own nights as star boys, when they too carried lanterns through winter darkness. The tradition connects generations like a golden thread, each year renewing the promise that light conquers darkness, that community endures beyond individual lives, that some things remain beautiful, unchanging, eternal. Meanwhile, in that small cottage where one child waits, the night deepens toward its most magical hour. Outside, snow falls in perfect silence, each flake a tiny messenger from celestial realms. The child's eyelids grow heavy, imagination blending with dream, St. Nicholas beginning his descent from the star-scattered sky. His sleigh appears first as a distant gleam, then grows larger, more wonderful, more real with each passing moment of sweet anticipation. But tonight, the universe itself prepares a gift, a celestial surprise beyond all earthly traditions. High above the sleeping world, cosmic dust begins its ancient dance, meteors preparing their brilliant performance. These are the original gift-bearers, older than any human legend, carrying messages written in the very fabric of space, about to paint the sky with nature's own aurora of wonder. The first meteor streaks across the darkness, a silver thread drawn by invisible hands, trailing stardust and possibility. Then another, and another, until the entire sky becomes a cathedral of falling light. The child at the window gasps in wonder. The star boys pause in their procession. Even St. Nicholas himself might pause to admire this cosmic display, this reminder that the universe itself participates in our earthly celebrations of giving. Each meteor carries within its brief life the essence of ancient stars, the dreams of distant worlds, the wishes of countless souls who have gazed upward seeking magic. They burn brightly for mere seconds, then fade into memory and legend, leaving only trails of light etched against darkness, and the quiet satisfaction of having transformed night into day, emptiness into abundance, ordinary moments into miracles. The child presses palms against cool glass, making a wish on each falling star, understanding somehow that this celestial gift show connects to all the other gift-bearers. Saint Nicholas riding his sleigh, the star boys singing in distant streets, even the meteors themselves, all part of one magnificent tapestry of giving, all threads in winter's most beautiful story, all reminders that magic lives wherever generosity finds expression. As the meteor shower fades into memory, and dawn approaches with gentle fingers of light, the child finally surrenders to sleep, heart full of wonder, mind painted with images of celestial gift-bearers. Tomorrow will bring new stories, new traditions, new ways of understanding how generosity flows like starlight, connecting all hearts, all homes, all hopes, in the endless cycle of giving that makes every season, every night, every moment, touched by grace. Chapter 4. Whims of Wishes. The Christmas Spirit. There exists a peculiar magic in the season of giving, where simple cloth stockings transform into vessels of hope. Tonight we explore the tender traditions of Christmas wishing, from ancient acts of kindness to modern rituals of belief. We will discover how empty stockings became symbols of generosity and witness the pure essence of Christmas wonder. Through the eyes of those who still believe in magic, the Christmas stocking hangs quietly by the fireplace, a humble guardian of wishes and dreams. This curious tradition spans centuries and continents, each culture adding its own thread to the tapestry of giving, from wooden shoes left by Dutch hearths to colorful socks adorning Mexican homes. The vessel changes, but the hope remains constant. Children worldwide understand this simple truth, that empty spaces can hold infinite possibilities when filled with love and anticipation. Long ago in ancient Myra, a bishop named Nicholas walked among his people with pockets full of gold coins and a heart overflowing with compassion. The legend whispers of three sisters, daughters of a poor widower who faced a future without hope. Under cover of darkness, Nicholas dropped golden coins down their chimney, where they landed safely in stockings hung by the fire to dry. This single act of kindness would echo through centuries. Across the world, variations of Nicholas's generosity took root in different soils. Italian children placed their shoes by the window for La Befana, while German youngsters polished their boots for Saint Nicholas. In France, children leave their sabots filled with hay and carrots, hoping Père Noël will replace the offerings with sweets. Each tradition carries the same gentle promise, that goodness returns to those who believe, and kindness multiplies in the darkness of winter nights. In a warm kitchen tonight, small fingers grip a crayon with determined precision. Paper crinkles softly as a child bends over their most important work, crafting a letter to Santa with the gravity of a diplomat. Each word is chosen carefully, each wish weighed against the goodness they have shown this year. The letter grows longer, filled with dreams both grand and simple, a testament to the boundless hope that lives in young hearts during the Christmas season. There is something profoundly pure about a child's Christmas wishes, unmarked by the complexities that shadow adult desires. They ask not for what they need, but for what will bring joy to their world. A puppy to love, a book to explore, time with grandparents who live far away. These letters reveal the essence of Christmas, the belief that kindness exists in the universe, and that someone, somewhere, is listening to our deepest hopes with understanding and love. The tradition of letter writing to Santa spans continents and languages, yet the sentiment remains universally tender. In Finland, children send letters to Santa's official post office in Rovaniemi, while Mexican children float their wishes to the sky on colorful balloons. Some letters travel through postal systems, others are tucked behind picture frames or hidden in special Christmas boxes, but all carry the same precious cargo, the dreams of childhood wrapped in faith and wonder. On Christmas Eve, plates appear on kitchen tables like offerings at an ancient altar. Chocolate chip cookies, still warm from the oven, rest beside tall glasses of cold milk, their surfaces reflecting the gentle glow of Christmas lights. These simple foods become sacred, transformed by ritual into something greater than sustenance. They represent hospitality extended to the magical, a child's understanding that even Santa might be hungry after his long journey through the winter night. Come Christmas morning, the evidence of belief remains. bite marks pressed into cookies like fingerprints of magic. Half-empty glasses of milk sit as testament to nocturnal visits, while crumbs scattered on red-checked tablecloths tell stories of midnight snacks. These artifacts of faith become treasures, carefully preserved in family memory, proof that wonder visited their home, that for one night, the impossible felt possible, and childhood dreams touched something real and beautiful. Parents gather around these scenes of tender belief, sharing whispered conversations over coffee cups, their voices soft with understanding. They remember their own Christmas mornings, the breathless excitement, the absolute certainty that magic had visited in the darkness. Now they are the guardians of that magic, protectors of wonder, carefully orchestrating the delicate dance between reality and dreams, ensuring that childhood keeps its sacred space in an often difficult world. From the kitchen drifts the warm scent of gingerbread, spices mingling in the air like a gentle invitation to comfort. Cinnamon and nutmeg, cloves and molasses, create an atmosphere thick with anticipation. Each breath carries hints of coming delights, of cookies shaped like little people, of houses built from sweetness and imagination. The aroma itself becomes part of the Christmas story, a sensory chapter written in warmth and sugar, promising treats yet to come. These holiday scents possess an ancient power, the ability to transport us instantly across time and distance. One breath of gingerbread, and suddenly we are children again, standing on tiptoes to peer into mixing bowls, flour dusting our small hands like winter snow. The kitchen becomes a workshop of wonder, where ordinary ingredients transform into edible joy, where families gather not just to bake, but to weave memories that will warm hearts long after the last cookie has been eaten. There exists a beautiful connection between Christmas wishes and Christmas treats, both born from the same human desire to create sweetness in the world. The child who carefully decorates a gingerbread cookie, the parent who stays up late filling stockings, the baker who rises before dawn to prepare holiday bread, all participate in the same gentle conspiracy, the shared agreement that life deserves moments of pure, uncomplicated joy, especially during the darkest days of winter. As gingerbread cools on wire racks, anticipation builds like a crescendo in the air. Soon there will be frosting and candy decorations, royal icing piped with artistic precision, silver dragées placed like tiny pearls on edible architecture. The promise of these coming delights adds another layer to Christmas magic, the knowledge that sweetness awaits, that traditions will continue, that the simple act of creating beauty from butter and spice connects us to generations of holiday bakers. In these quiet moments of Christmas preparation, we glimpse the true spirit of the season. It lives not in grand gestures, but in the patient hanging of stockings, the careful writing of wish lists, the tender placement of cookies on special plates. These simple acts create a tapestry of love, thread by thread, wish by wish, building something beautiful and lasting from the smallest expressions of hope and care, reminding us that magic often wears very ordinary clothes. The aroma of gingerbread grows stronger now, beckoning us deeper into the heart of Christmas tradition, where ancient recipes hold stories of their own. Soon we will explore the delicious history of holiday treats, from medieval honey cakes to modern cookie exchanges, discovering how sweetness became woven into the very fabric of celebration. But for now, let the scent of spices carry you gently forward into dreams of sugar and warmth, of traditions that taste like home. Chapter 5. Silent Sweets. Christmas confections through time. The kitchen awakens before dawn, flour dusting ancient wooden counters like fresh snow. Copper pots gleam in candlelight as sugar crystals catch the early morning glow. This sacred space has witnessed countless Christmas preparations, generations of hands kneading dough, rolling pastry, creating sweetness that binds families together. Today we step into this aromatic sanctuary where holiday magic transforms simple ingredients into treasured memories that sweeten Christmas celebrations across centuries. The air grows thick with cinnamon and cardamom, nutmeg and clove dancing together in invisible spirals. Ancient spice roots converge in this humble kitchen, as ingredients once worth their weight in gold now fill humble wooden bowls. Each grain tells stories of distant lands, of merchants who braved treacherous seas to bring these precious flavors to European tables. The warmth spreads through stone walls as ovens begin their patient work, transforming raw elements into golden treasures. Grandmother's weathered hands move with practiced grace, measuring not with cups but with intuition earned through decades of December mornings. Her fingers know the exact texture of perfect dough, the precise moment when butter and flour become one. She speaks in whispers, sharing secrets passed down through generations like precious heirlooms. Each measurement carries the weight of tradition, each technique a bridge connecting past celebrations to present joy, ensuring ancient recipes survive another year. We journey back to 4th century Myra, where St. Nicholas cookies first took shape. Simple honey cakes molded into the form of the beloved bishop, these earliest confections carried prayers and hopes for the coming year. Monks in medieval monasteries perfected the art, adding precious spices brought by returning crusaders. Each cookie became a small blessing, a sweet reminder of generosity and kindness. The tradition spread slowly across Europe, carried by travelers and traders seeking Christmas comfort. The young granddaughter watches with wide eyes, her small hands eager to help, but patient enough to learn. Flour dusts her cheek as she attempts her first rolling motion, the dough stretching unevenly beneath her enthusiastic efforts. Grandmother guides gently, showing how pressure and rhythm create perfect thickness. This moment transcends mere baking. It represents the sacred transfer of cultural knowledge, the quiet ceremony where family traditions pass from one generation to the next, like whispered secrets in candlelight. Medieval Germanic tribes first shaped Lebkuchen, honey cakes that carried the essence of forest beehives and wild herbs. These dense, spiced treasures could survive long winter months, providing sustenance when fresh ingredients grew scarce. Monasteries refined the recipes, creating elaborate designs pressed with wooden molds depicting religious scenes. Each cake became edible art, telling biblical stories through intricate patterns carved in sweet, fragrant dough. The tradition slowly spread, finding new homes in distant lands seeking Christmas comfort. The oven's gentle heat creates its own rhythm, doors opening and closing like a slow, meditative dance. Each batch emerges golden brown, carrying the accumulated wisdom of countless Christmas mornings. Steam rises in delicate spirals, carrying cinnamon dreams and ginger promises through the warm kitchen air. Time moves differently here, measured not in minutes but in the patient transformation of simple ingredients into complex flavors that will comfort families through cold December nights when memories warm hearts better than any fire. Gingerbread houses emerged from 16th century Germany, architectural confections inspired by fairy tale cottages, intricate frosting windows, candy stone pathways, graham cracker shingles created edible fantasies that delighted children while showcasing parental artistry. These miniature dwellings represented more than decoration. They embodied dreams of perfect homes where families gathered safely through winter storms. Each carefully constructed wall, each precisely placed gumdrop carried hopes for domestic happiness, for Christmas mornings filled with laughter echoing through rooms scented with baking spices. Christmas pudding tells darker, richer stories of medieval England when dried fruits arrived like precious gems from Mediterranean shores. Months of preparation went into these dense, alcohol-soaked celebrations, ingredients added gradually, like prayers accumulating power. Families stirred clockwise while making wishes, each member contributing hopes for the coming year. Silver coins hidden within promised good fortune to lucky finders. The pudding aged slowly, gathering strength and complexity like wine, waiting patiently for Christmas Day when flames would crown its emergence. Marzipan sculptures grace royal tables, almonds ground to silk-smooth paste, then molded into artistic masterpieces. These edible treasures originated in Persian courts, traveled through Arabic lands, finally settling in European palaces, where confectioners competed to create increasingly elaborate designs. Fruits, flowers, even miniature people emerged from sweet almond clay. Each sculpture represented hours of patient artistry, transforming simple nuts into decoration worthy of Christmas feasts, where beauty mattered as much as taste in creating memorable celebrations. The granddaughter's first successful batch emerges golden and perfect, her face glowing with pride, brighter than the oven's warm light. These cookies carry more than flavor. They hold the essence of achievement, the satisfaction of skills learned through patient practice. Grandmother nods approvingly, recognizing in this moment the successful transfer of knowledge that began before dawn. The kitchen fills with the sweet aroma of accomplishment, of traditions preserved, of family bonds strengthened through shared purpose and gentle teaching, filled with love. Candy canes twisted their way into Christmas tradition through European convents where nuns shaped sugar into shepherd's crooks, sweet reminders of the nativity story. The distinctive red and white stripes appeared centuries later. Peppermint oil added refreshing coolness to balance holiday richness. These simple confections became powerful symbols, their curved shape representing the staff of Bethlehem shepherds, who first received angelic news. Mass production eventually transformed handcrafted treats into widely accessible Christmas symbols, though their spiritual significance remained unchanged through commercial evolution. Stollen emerges from German bakeries like golden treasures wrapped in powdered snow. Dense fruit breads that symbolize the Christ child swaddled in white cloth. These rich loaves require weeks of preparation, dried fruits soaking in rum, nuts carefully selected, butter worked to perfect consistency. Each slice reveals jewel-like pieces of candied fruit distributed through tender crumb. The bread ages gracefully, flavors melding and deepening, becoming more precious with time, like family relationships that strengthen through shared Christmas memories, accumulated over decades of celebration. Sugar plum fairies dance, not just in dreams but in the careful artistry of confectioners who transformed simple fruits into crystalline masterpieces. These labor-intensive treats required days of patient work, fruits repeatedly dipped in sugar syrup until thick, glassy coatings formed protective shells. The process demanded perfect timing, precise temperatures, skilled hands that knew exactly when crystallization reached ideal consistency. Each sugar plum represented hours of dedicated craft, transforming ordinary ingredients into extraordinary confections worthy of Christmas tables and childhood fantasies alike. The final batch slides into the oven, completing hours of preparation that began in darkness and now approaches afternoon light. Kitchen counters display the morning's achievements: rows of cooling cookies, glazed breads, decorated confections that will soon grace Christmas tables. The granddaughter helps arrange these treasures, her small hands carefully positioning each piece like precious ornaments. This moment marks transition, from preparation to presentation, from private family ritual to shared community celebration, from kitchen sanctuary to festive gathering spaces filled with anticipation. As the oven door closes on the day's final creation, silence settles over the flour-dusted kitchen like contentment after hard work completed. Tomorrow these confections will disappear into eager hands, but today they represent something deeper than dessert. They embody tradition preserved, skills transferred, love expressed through patient labor. The kitchen exhales cinnamon-scented satisfaction, ready now to rest before the festivities begin. Its sweet mission accomplished, its role as keeper of Christmas confection traditions fulfilled until another December calls it back to sacred service. Chapter 6. Harmonies of Hearth. The festive homecoming. In the soft glow of twinkling lights, a home transforms into something magical. Every window glows warmly against the winter darkness. Every doorway frames moments of joy. The scent of pine mingles with cinnamon and cloves, while gentle laughter drifts through rooms decorated with care. This is where hearts gather, where the true spirit of the season comes alive in the comfort of family. Boxing Day arrives with its own gentle rhythm, a day that follows Christmas like a soft exhale after celebration. The tradition began centuries ago in Britain, when servants received boxes of gifts from their employers. Today it carries deeper meaning, a time for reflection and gratitude, when families extend the Christmas spirit beyond December 25th. The house still holds yesterday's magic, but now welcomes a quieter kind of wonder. Cars pull into frost-covered driveways as relatives arrive from distant places. Footsteps crunch on winter pathways. Voices call out greetings across the cold air. Suitcases and gift bags emerge from trunks. Children press their faces against frosted windows, watching for familiar faces. The door opens again and again, each arrival bringing embraces that chase away the winter chill. The house begins to fill with the sounds of reunion and belonging. The kitchen becomes the heart of activity, where multiple conversations weave together like harmonious melodies. Coats pile high on beds, shoes gather by the entrance, and the air fills with overlapping stories from the year past. Children's laughter echoes down hallways, while adults catch up over steaming cups of cocoa and coffee. Every room pulses with energy. Every corner holds whispered conversations and shared memories waiting to unfold. As afternoon shadows lengthen, something beautiful begins to happen. The frantic energy of arrival settles into something deeper, more peaceful. Voices naturally soften, footsteps slow to a gentler pace. The house seems to exhale, releasing the day's excitement and welcoming a tranquil evening mood. Lights dim to warmer settings, candles begin to flicker on mantels, and the transformation from busy to serene begins its gentle magic. In the living room, soft conversations replace the earlier chatter. Grandparents settle into comfortable chairs, sharing stories that bridge generations. Aunts and uncles gather around the fireplace, their voices creating a soothing backdrop of connection. The television plays quietly in the background, but real entertainment comes from human voices, from tales told with gestures and smiles, from the simple pleasure of being together on this special day. Laughter bubbles up naturally, not the loud excitement of children unwrapping presents, but the deeper satisfaction of shared joy. Someone tells a funny story from last summer's family vacation. Another remembers a silly Christmas mishap from years past. These moments of mirth weave through the evening like golden threads, binding hearts together, creating new memories while honoring old ones, warming the house more than any fireplace ever could. Outside, winter winds whistle past windows, rattling bare branches and sending snowflakes dancing in the porch light. But inside, warmth reigns supreme. Bodies huddle closer together, hands wrap around warm mugs, and feet find their way into cozy slippers. The contrast between the cold world beyond these walls and the sanctuary within makes every moment feel more precious, every conversation more intimate, every laugh more meaningful. The Christmas tree stands sentinel in the corner, its lights twinkling like captured stars. Beneath its evergreen branches, a collection of wrapped packages waits patiently. These are the Boxing Day gifts, smaller tokens of affection saved for this quieter celebration. The tree seems to glow more softly now, as if understanding that tonight calls for gentle illumination rather than brilliant display, setting the perfect mood for intimate gift-giving. Someone suggests it's time for the Boxing Day exchange, and faces light up with renewed excitement. But this isn't the frenzied unwrapping of Christmas morning. Instead, it unfolds with deliberate care. Each gift is opened slowly, thoughtfully, with genuine curiosity about what lies within the colourful wrapping. Recipients take time to express gratitude, to appreciate the thought behind each present, to savour the act of receiving as much as giving. A handmade scarf emerges from tissue paper, followed by a collection of family photographs from the past year. Someone receives a book of poetry, another unwraps homemade preserves with a ribbon-tied recipe card. These gifts speak of time invested, of love translated into tangible form. They represent the true spirit of giving, not about expense or extravagance, but about understanding what brings joy to another person's heart, about connection expressed through thoughtful gestures. Love fills every corner of the room, visible in gentle touches, audible in grateful whispers, tangible in warm embraces. A grandfather holds his granddaughter close, while she shows him her new art supplies. A mother smooths her son's hair as he examines his gift. Siblings share an inside joke over matching funny socks. These moments capture the essence of family, the bonds that time strengthens rather than weakens, the love that makes any house a home. In the corner, someone discovers an old record player that hasn't been used in years. Dust is gently blown from its surface, and curious hands examine the collection of vinyl albums stacked beside it. Fingers flip through titles from decades past, searching for something perfect for this peaceful evening. The machine hums to life with a satisfying mechanical sound, ready to fill the air with melodies from another era, adding musical magic to the night. The needle finds its groove, and suddenly the room fills with the opening notes of Silent Night. The familiar melody emerges with the warm, slightly scratchy quality that only vinyl can provide. Conversations naturally quiet, not stopping entirely, but softening to accommodate this beloved carol. The music seems to wrap around the gathering like a gentle embrace, connecting this moment to countless Christmas evenings that came before, to traditions that span generations and continents. The serene strains of the carol weave through the room, touching every heart with its timeless message of peace. Some lips move silently along with the familiar words, others simply close their eyes and let the music wash over them. The song transforms the already peaceful atmosphere into something almost sacred, creating a bridge between the celebration of today and the deeper meaning of the season, reminding everyone why these gatherings matter so profoundly. As Silent Night fades to gentle silence, hearts remain full of its message. The evening has woven together all the elements that make this season special: family, gratitude, love, and music. But this carol is just one thread in a much larger tapestry, one voice in a worldwide choir of Christmas songs. Tomorrow we'll explore how these musical traditions began, how simple melodies became the soundtrack of celebration, how carols carry culture across continents and through centuries. Chapter 7. Melodies of Midnight. The Lullaby of Carols. As winter's embrace deepens across the world, something magical begins to stir in the crisp December air. It starts as whispers, gentle humming from kitchen windows, then grows into the most beautiful symphony humanity has ever created. Tonight we explore how music became Christmas, how simple melodies transformed into the universal language of holiday wonder. In ancient stone cathedrals, where candlelight dances against weathered walls, Latin hymns echo through vaulted spaces. Gregorian chants flow like liquid gold, voices rising and falling in harmonies that have remained unchanged for centuries. The monks' devotional songs carry the weight of tradition, each note a prayer, each phrase a connection to countless Christmas celebrations that came before. Across cobblestone streets in medieval villages, carolers emerge from warm houses into the crisp night air. Their breath creates small clouds as they sing, lanterns swinging gently in their hands. Door by door, they share ancient melodies, some in languages forgotten by time, others in dialects that carry the essence of their homeland. Each song tells a story of hope. In Victorian England, families gather around flickering fireplaces as snow taps gently against frosted window panes. Children's voices blend with their parents, creating intimate concerts in cozy parlors. They sing of sleigh bells and winter wonderlands, their melodies weaving together like threads in a Christmas tapestry. The warmth of their songs matches the glow of burning logs. Travel now to Germany, where the tradition of Christmas carols took root like evergreen trees in rich soil. In small Bavarian villages, church bells ring as communities unite in song. Their voices carry across snow-covered valleys, melodies that speak of peace and joy floating through pine-scented air. Here, music and Christmas became inseparable, forever intertwined like holly and ivy. The melodies cross oceans, finding new voices in distant lands. In the American colonies, settlers bring their cherished songs, adapting them to new surroundings, while keeping their hearts intact. Around rough wooden tables, families sing by candlelight, their voices creating bridges between the homeland they left behind and the new world they are building together. Listen closely to the transformation, as simple folk songs become elaborate symphonies. Church organs breathe life into melodies, their pipes creating cathedral-sized emotions. Choirs rehearse in cold sanctuaries, their harmonies rising like incense, turning humble tunes into magnificent celebrations. Each arrangement adds layers, like snowflakes accumulating into something wonderfully complex yet beautifully simple. In Spain, villancicos tell stories through music, voices accompanied by guitars and tambourines. The rhythm matches footsteps on ancient streets, melodies flowing like warm Mediterranean breezes, even in December's chill. Children learn these songs from their grandmothers, each generation adding their own interpretation, while preserving the essence of celebration that has survived countless centuries of change. France contributes its own musical gifts, carols that dance like snowflakes in the wind. In small countryside churches, voices blend with organ music, creating harmonies that seem to make the very stones sing. These melodies carry the sophistication of French culture, yet remain simple enough for children to hum, proving that true beauty lies in accessible elegance. As evening deepens, carolers appear on doorsteps across the world, their voices creating impromptu concerts on snow-kissed streets. Neighbors open their doors to listen, some joining in with half-remembered words, others simply swaying to melodies that feel familiar, even when heard for the first time. Music becomes a gift, freely given and joyfully received. Inside warm homes, families create their own Christmas concerts, voices blending around piano benches and guitar cases. Children sing with uninhibited joy, their pure tones mixing with parents' deeper harmonies. The songs range from ancient hymns to playful ditties about reindeer and snowmen, each melody adding to the evening's magical atmosphere like ornaments on a tree. But then, in the midst of joyful singing, a small voice interrupts. A curious child looks up with wondering eyes and asks a question that stops the music. What does peace on earth really mean, when there is still sadness in the world? The room grows quiet, adults exchanging meaningful glances, searching for words to match the profound simplicity of the question. The pause stretches like a held breath, filled with the weight of truth and hope. An elder speaks softly, explaining that peace on earth is not about a world without problems, but about carrying peace within our hearts, sharing it through kindness. Through songs like these, the child nods thoughtfully, understanding that each carol is itself a small prayer for peace. The music resumes, but now with deeper meaning. Each note carries intention, each harmony represents connection between people who might otherwise remain strangers. The carolers outside continue their journey, their melodies floating through winter air like messengers of goodwill, proving that music indeed speaks a universal language that transcends barriers and builds bridges between hearts. As midnight approaches, the last echoes of carols fade into the stillness of winter night. The world settles into peaceful silence, though the melodies continue to resonate in memory. Street lamps cast gentle pools of light on snow-covered paths, and in the distance, something stirs. Not all Christmas visitors bring songs and joy. Some bring mysteries that have haunted holiday traditions for centuries. The stage is set for encounters with beings that exist on the edges of Christmas folklore, creatures whispered about in hushed tones around dying fires. These are the Christmas monsters, guests rarely invited but widely discussed, beings who remind us that even the most joyful seasons carry shadows. Their stories await, ready to unfold in the chapters that follow. Chapter 8: Boughs of Baran. The uninvited holiday antagonists. As winters embrace titans around the world, we venture into folklore's shadowed corners where Christmas joy meets ancient fears. Here dwell the uninvited guests of holiday tradition, creatures who balance merriment with judgment, comfort with consequence. The fire crackles softly as we turn weathered pages of old stories, discovering how darkness and light dance together in the season's most enduring tales. Deep in the alpine valleys of Austria and Bavaria, children once listened for more than sleigh bells on winter nights. They strained their ears for the heavy chains and thunderous hooves of Krampus, the horned shadow companion of St. Nicholas. While St. Nicholas rewarded good children with gifts, Krampus carried birch switches for the wicked, his goat legs stomping through snow-covered villages on the darkest December nights. The origins of Krampus stretch back to pre-Christian alpine traditions. When winter spirits roamed the mountains, villagers would don frightening masks and furs, becoming the creatures they feared to ward off evil. These wild processions became Krampusnacht, a night when the boundary between human and beast dissolved. Even today, the sound of cowbells and chains echoes through Austrian streets as communities honor this ancient dance between terror and protection. Krampus cards became popular in the early 1900s, featuring the beast in surprisingly playful poses, sometimes dancing with fashionable ladies or playing musical instruments. These whimsical depictions softened his fearsome reputation, transforming primal terror into holiday humor. Yet beneath the humor lay deeper truth, that even in our merriest seasons we acknowledge the shadows that give light its meaning. Krampus reminded children that choices have consequences, even at Christmas. From Germany's Rhine Valley comes another figure cloaked in winter's judgment, Belsnickel, whose very name whispers of bells and St. Nicholas. Unlike his saintly counterpart, Belsnickel arrived unannounced, wrapped in torn furs and rags, his face hidden beneath a wild beard. He carried both switches and small gifts, testing children's behavior with riddles and questions before deciding their fate. His bells jingled ominously in the December cold. German immigrants brought Belsnickel to Pennsylvania, where he became part of Christmas tradition in farming communities. Children would peer through frosted windows, watching for his shambling figure in the twilight. He might reward good behavior with nuts and candy, or leave switches for those who had strayed. Unlike Santa's cheerful ho-ho-ho, Belsnickel's visits were tests, moments when the year's deeds were weighed against winter's harsh judgment. The tradition of Belsnickel revealed something profound about human nature, our need to balance celebration with accountability. He embodied the stern father figure, the voice of conscience that asked difficult questions. Are you good enough for gifts? Have you earned your joy? In Pennsylvania Dutch country, families would gather nervously as Belsnickel's bells grew closer, knowing that Christmas magic came with moral weight, that wonder required worthiness. From Iceland's volcanic landscape comes perhaps the most elaborate cast of holiday mischief makers, the 13 Yule Lads, or Jólasveinar. These trickster sons of the mountain giantess Grýla descended from their highland caves one by one during the 13 nights before Christmas. Each possessed a unique specialty for causing household chaos, from slamming doors to stealing sausages, from licking spoons to harassing sheep in the winter darkness. The first Yule Lad, Sheepcoat Clod, had stiff peg legs that made walking difficult, but this didn't stop him from harassing sheep in their winter shelters. Gully Gawk was unusually tall and hid in gullies to steal milk from cows. Stubby was remarkably short and stole pans to eat the crusty bits left behind. Each brother's arrival brought specific household disruptions, teaching children to secure their belongings and remain vigilant during the holiday season. Spoon Licker was painfully thin from his diet of wooden spoons. Pot Scraper specialized in stealing unwashed pots. Bowl Licker hid under beds to snatch unfinished bowls of food. Door Slammer arrived on Christmas Eve itself, delighting in creating racket throughout the night. These weren't truly evil creatures, they were embodiments of household chaos, reminders that even during sacred seasons, daily life continued with all its frustrations and small disasters. They made the ordinary feel magical through mischief. The Yule Lad's mother, Grýla, was far more fearsome than her mischievous sons. This giantess possessed an insatiable hunger for disobedient children, her black cauldron always ready to cook young wrongdoers into stew. Her enormous black cat, Jolakotrin, would devour anyone who didn't receive new clothes for Christmas. These tales taught practical lessons: work hard to earn new garments, behave well to avoid becoming dinner. Fear motivated virtue in Iceland's harsh winters. Across Europe, other dark Christmas figures emerged from local fears and customs. The Netherlands feared Zwarte Piet, whose origins remain controversial today. France whispered of Père Fouettard, the whipping father who punished naughty children. Eastern Europe told tales of various gift-bringing demons and spirits. Each culture crafted its own balance between Christmas joy and moral accountability, proving that humans universally understand the need for consequences alongside celebration. Darkness gave meaning to light. These figures weren't merely frightening folklore. They served essential social functions in pre-modern communities. When survival depended on cooperation and shared resources, children needed strong motivation to follow community rules. The threat of Krampus or Grilla encouraged good behavior when parents' authority alone proved insufficient. These stories channeled very real anxieties about winter scarcity, community tensions, and moral order into manageable narrative forms that both terrified and comforted. Modern psychology recognizes wisdom in these seemingly harsh traditions. Children need to understand that actions have consequences, that joy requires responsibility. The sanitized version of Christmas, with its unconditional gift-giving and endless sweetness, may actually deprive children of important moral lessons. The dark figures of Christmas folklore teach that celebration and judgment walk hand in hand, that true peace comes only after we've honestly confronted our shadows and shortcomings. As our fire burns lower and shadows grow longer, we see these ancient figures not as enemies of Christmas joy but as its necessary companions. They remind us that light shines brightest against darkness, that gratitude grows from awareness of what we might lose. The chains of Krampus, the switches of Belsnickel, the chaos of the Yule lads, all serve to make Santa's gifts feel more precious, more earned. Balance creates meaning. Outside our window, Christmas lights begin to flicker, not with mechanical precision but with something more mysterious. Their gentle wavering seems to echo the ancient dance between light and shadow we've explored tonight. These glowing strands carry their own stories, tales of how humans learn to push back winter's darkness with celebration and community. As we prepare to rest, their warm glow promises new adventures in illumination await us tomorrow. Chapter 9. Embers of Euphoria. Holiday Illuminations. From the shadows of eerie tales, we ascend into something altogether different. The gentle warmth of twinkling lights that dance against winter darkness. Here, in this realm of glowing wonder, we discover how simple flames became the heartbeat of Christmas celebration. Tonight, we trace the luminous thread that connects ancient starlight to modern holiday magic, where every bulb tells a story of hope. Long before electric currents painted trees in rainbow hues, there lived a man named Martin Luther in 16th century Germany. One clear winter evening, the reformer walked beneath a canopy of stars so brilliant they seemed to pierce the very fabric of heaven itself. The sight filled him with such profound wonder that he yearned to capture this celestial beauty, to bring heaven's own illumination into his humble earthly dwelling, where others might witness such divine splendor. Luther returned home with branches cut fresh from winter evergreens, their needles still fragrant with forest memories. Carefully, tenderly, he attached small candles to the boughs, each flame representing a star in that magnificent sky he had witnessed. When lit, the tree transformed his simple room into a reflection of the heavens above. His family gathered in reverent silence, watching as candlelight danced through green needles, casting gentle shadows that seemed to breathe with sacred life. Word of Luther's illuminated tree spread like warmth through cold Germanic winters. Neighbors began their own quiet rituals, lighting candles on evergreen boughs as December nights grew long and dark. Each flame became a prayer, each glowing tree a beacon against the season's chill. Children pressed faces to frosted windows, watching candlelight flicker through neighboring homes, and slowly, beautifully, a tradition was born from one man's desire to hold starlight in his hands. Centuries passed, and Luther's simple candles evolved into something far more elaborate. The invention of electricity brought new possibilities, strings of small bulbs that could safely illuminate trees without the danger of open flames. Victorian families marveled at these early electric Christmas lights, their soft glow painting parlors in warm amber and gold. What began as a theological meditation on heaven's beauty had become a cherished domestic tradition, spreading across oceans and continents. Picture now the ritual that unfolds each December in countless homes, the careful unwinding of light strings that have waited all year in storage. Hands work methodically, testing each bulb, replacing the dim ones with fresh brightness. There is something deeply meditative about this process, the slow transformation of a bare tree into something magical. Each loop of lights wrapped around green boughs creates layers of luminous warmth that seem to pulse with the very rhythm of celebration itself. The first light switched on sends a gentle glow through the room, followed by another, then another, until the entire tree blazes with soft radiance. Children watch in wonder as their living room fills with colored light, red and green, gold and blue, each bulb reflecting off tinsel and ornaments to create a kaleidoscope of holiday joy. The tree becomes a constellation brought indoors, a private galaxy that transforms ordinary evenings into something touched by magic and memory. Beyond individual homes, the tradition expanded into community celebration. Entire neighborhoods began coordinating their displays, turning suburban streets into wonderlands of synchronized light. Front yards bloomed with illuminated reindeer, glowing snowflakes and trees wrapped in thousands of twinkling bulbs. Walking through these residential galleries became a cherished holiday activity, families bundling up to stroll through tunnels of light that transformed ordinary streets into passages through an enchanted winter kingdom. In one such neighborhood, an annual tea party tradition emerged around the illuminated streets. Neighbors gathered on a particular evening in December, carrying steaming cups of spiced cider and hot chocolate as they wandered from house to house, admiring each family's creative light display. Christmas lanterns lined the walkways, casting pools of golden warmth on snow-covered sidewalks. Conversations flowed as easily as the warm drinks, building connections that lasted far beyond the holiday season. The lanterns themselves became focal points of gathering, each one carefully chosen and placed to create intimate spaces where strangers became friends. Some families hung paper luminaries along their garden paths. Others strung cafe lights between fence posts to create outdoor rooms filled with welcoming glow. These simple lights did more than illuminate the darkness, they illuminated the bonds between neighbors, creating a sense of community that sparkled as brightly as any electric display. Children ran between these pools of light, their laughter echoing off houses decorated like fairy tale cottages. Parents followed more slowly, savoring the peaceful joy of the evening and the warmth of community connection. The tea party tradition grew year by year, with new families joining and long-time residents sharing stories of holidays past. Each lit lantern represented not just decoration but invitation, a gentle beckoning toward shared celebration and collective wonder. As the evening wound down, neighbors lingered under strings of lights that seemed to hold the darkness at bay. The glow cast soft shadows on faces filled with contentment, highlighting smiles and the steam rising from warm cups. This simple gathering demonstrated something profound, how light naturally draws people together, creating spaces where community can flourish even in the depths of winter. The illuminations had become more than decoration, they had become bridges between isolated homes and lonely hearts. When the tea party finally ended, families reluctantly made their way back to their own glowing homes. But the warmth of connection lingered, enhanced by the continued presence of lights that would burn for weeks to come. Windows glowed like friendly beacons throughout the neighborhood, each one a reminder of the bonds formed on this luminous night. The tradition had created something lasting, a community woven together by shared appreciation for beauty and the courage to invite others into that appreciation. In the days that followed, the neighborhood settled into a peaceful rhythm of illuminated evenings. Snow began to fall more regularly, blanketing the streets in pristine white that reflected and amplified every glowing light. Children pressed noses to windows, watching snowflakes drift past colored bulbs like tiny dancers moving through a grand ballroom. The combination of fresh snow and warm light created scenes of such perfect holiday beauty that time seemed suspended in crystalline enchantment. This soft bed of snow became nature's invitation to the next phase of winter's journey, the promise of snowy wonderlands waiting just beyond the comfortable glow of neighborhood lights. Each snowfall added depth to the landscape, transforming familiar streets into pathways that seemed to lead toward distant, magical destinations. The lights continued to twinkle through the falling snow, creating halos of warmth that suggested countless adventures waiting in the winter wilderness beyond the city's edge. As we prepare to leave this realm of holiday illuminations, we carry with us the gentle warmth these lights represent, the human desire to brighten dark places, to create beauty from simple materials, to gather in celebration of light itself. From Martin Luther's starlit inspiration to neighborhood tea parties under Christmas lanterns, these traditions remind us that illumination is both literal and metaphorical, a way of bringing heaven's brightness into our earthly celebrations, one twinkling bulb at a time. Chapter 10. Winter Wanderlust. Yuletide Landscapes. The mountain passes stretch before us like ribbons of white silk, carved between peaks that pierce the winter sky. Snow falls in gentle curtains, muffling every sound except the whisper of wind through pine branches. Here, in these high places, winter reigns supreme, transforming familiar paths into mysterious corridors of crystal and shadow. Each footstep crunches softly in the pristine powder, marking our passage through this frozen wonderland where time seems to pause. Below in the valley, villages nestle like sleeping children beneath thick blankets of snow. Chimney smoke rises in lazy spirals, the only movement in a world wrapped in winter slumber. Cottages with their peaked roofs and frosted windows glow softly from within, promising warmth and comfort. The cobblestone streets lie buried, creating smooth pathways between homes where families gather close to crackling fires. This is winter's embrace, gentle yet complete, transforming bustling communities into peaceful havens of rest. On frozen ponds and lakes, a different kind of magic unfolds. The sport of ice skating, once a simple means of winter travel, found its way into the hearts of Victorian royalty. Queen Victoria herself delighted in gliding across the ice at Windsor, her skates carving elegant arcs upon the frozen surface. Prince Albert, ever supportive, joined her in this graceful dance with winter. Their enthusiasm for skating spread throughout the court, transforming a practical skill into a beloved pastime of elegance and joy. The Victorian fascination with ice skating spread beyond palace walls, capturing the imagination of society. Skating parties became fashionable gatherings where ladies in their finest winter coats glided alongside gentlemen in top hats. Frozen ponds transformed into ballrooms of ice, where couples waltzed to the music of steel blades cutting through crystal surfaces. The rhythmic scraping of skates created winter symphonies, while lanterns cast dancing shadows across the frozen stages. This royal endorsement elevated skating from necessity to art form, blessing winter with newfound grace. But perhaps the most enchanting winter experience awaits on moonlit slopes where skiing takes on an almost mystical quality. As darkness falls and the full moon rises, snow-covered mountains become silver landscapes of impossible beauty. The quiet swoosh of skis through powder snow creates a meditation in motion. Each turn down the mountain becomes a dance with gravity and grace, while moonbeams illuminate the path ahead. Here, beneath star-scattered skies, winter reveals its most exhilarating secret, the pure joy of flying through frozen dreams. The thrill of night skiing mingles with profound peace, creating an experience beyond ordinary adventure. In moonlight, every snow crystal sparkles like scattered diamonds, while the rhythm of your breathing synchronizes with the mountain's ancient heartbeat. The world below sleeps peacefully, unaware of this midnight communion between human spirit and winter wilderness. Cold air fills your lungs with clarity, while muscles find their rhythm in this graceful descent. Time dissolves into pure sensation, wind, snow, moonlight, and the exhilarating freedom of moving through nature's frozen cathedral. From the warmth of a cozy mountain cabin, windows frame the winter panorama like living paintings. Inside, a fire crackles in the stone hearth, casting dancing shadows on wooden walls, while outside, snow continues its gentle descent. Wrapped in soft blankets, we watch the landscape transform moment by moment, as new snow adds fresh layers to the pristine scene. Steam rises from mugs of hot cocoa, warming hands that moments before felt winter's bite. This contrast between inner warmth and outer cold creates perfect conditions for quiet contemplation. This tranquil moment provides space for deeper reflection on our relationship with winter's majesty. From our sheltered vantage point, we witness nature's awesome power to transform entire landscapes with gentle persistence. Each snowflake, delicate beyond measure, joins countless others to reshape mountains, forests, and valleys. We marvel at winter's ability to create such profound beauty through the simple act of falling snow. The silence outside speaks louder than any words, reminding us of our small yet cherished place within nature's grand design. In these quiet moments, we contemplate mankind's enduring appreciation for nature's power and purity. Winter strips away summer's elaborate decorations, revealing the essential bones of the landscape beneath. This stark honesty appeals to something deep within us, a recognition of beauty in simplicity, strength in stillness. The monochrome palette of snow and shadow speaks to our souls in ways that brilliant summer colors cannot. Here, in winter's embrace, we discover that less can indeed be infinitely more, that silence can sing more sweetly than any symphony. As we sit in comfortable contemplation, the wind outside begins to carry something more than just the scent of snow. On the evening air, we catch whispers of distant celebrations, the faint echo of church bells ringing across frozen valleys, the ghostly strains of carols drifting from villages hidden in the mists. These sounds speak of humanity gathering together as winter deepens, of traditions that warm hearts when the world grows cold. The wind becomes a messenger, bringing news of festivities from far-off lands where Christmas preparations have begun. These distant holiday whispers stir something deep within our winter reverie. Somewhere beyond these snow-covered peaks, families are decorating trees with twinkling lights, children are hanging stockings with hopeful hearts, and bakers are filling their shops with the sweet aromas of seasonal treats. The wind carries fragments of these celebrations, the crackle of wrapping paper, the gentle laughter of loved ones gathering, the soft shuffle of feet around Christmas trees. Each sound reminds us that winter's beauty extends far beyond snowy landscapes into the warmth of human connection. This anticipation of global Christmas exploration fills us with gentle excitement. Our winter wandering through these pristine landscapes has prepared us for something even more wonderful, a journey through the diverse ways humans celebrate the season of giving. From this mountain sanctuary, we can almost see the whole world spread below, each culture adding its unique ornament to winter's tree. The snow continues to fall, but now each flake seems to carry the promise of new discoveries, strange traditions, and beautiful customs waiting to unfold. The winter landscape teaches us that beauty often emerges from unexpected places and circumstances. Just as snow transforms ordinary scenes into extraordinary visions, human traditions have a way of taking simple moments and making them magical. The bare branches outside our window now seem like arms reaching toward the sky in celebration, while the smooth white fields resemble blank pages waiting for new stories to be written. Winter's minimalist aesthetic creates the perfect backdrop for the colourful tapestry of Christmas traditions we are about to explore. There is something profoundly fitting about discovering winter's wonders before exploring Christmas customs from around the globe. The season itself provides the canvas upon which these celebrations are painted. Snow may not fall everywhere, but the spirit of winter, of gathering close, of finding light in darkness, of sharing warmth with others, these universal themes connect all holiday traditions. Our journey through frozen landscapes has shown us the foundation upon which centuries of Christmas customs have been built, the human need for joy during winter's reign. As our mountain retreat grows quieter, the anticipation builds for the cultural adventure ahead. We have walked through snowy passes, glided across moonlit slopes, and found peace in frosted window panes. These winter experiences have prepared our hearts for the warmth of human creativity and tradition. Soon we will leave these pristine landscapes behind and venture into the rich tapestry of global Christmas customs, where every culture has found its own unique way to celebrate hope, love, and the promise of brighter days ahead. The fire in our cabin hearth burns lower now, mirroring our transition from winter contemplation to cultural exploration. Outside, the snow continues its patient work of beautifying the world, while inside, we prepare our minds for the fascinating journey ahead. We have seen how winter creates its own kind of magic through ice and snow, through moonlight skiing and cozy firesides. Now we are ready to discover how human imagination has created even more wonderful magic through the countless ways we celebrate Christmas around our beautiful, diverse world. Chapter 11. Intricate Icicles. Christmas around the world. Tonight we journey across continents and cultures, discovering how the spirit of Christmas blooms in the most unexpected ways. From snow-kissed Nordic forests to sun-drenched Australian beaches, each tradition tells its own story of joy, unity, and wonder. Close your eyes and let these tales of global celebration warm your heart like glowing embers on a winter's night. Imagine the world as a great tapestry, woven with threads of silver snow and golden sunshine, where Christmas takes on 1,000 different faces, yet speaks the same language of love. Tonight we'll visit families gathered around flickering candles, hear ancient bells echoing through mountain valleys, and feel the gentle warmth of traditions that have crossed oceans and centuries to reach our hearts. In the Nordic lands, where winter nights stretch long and deep, Yule burns bright with ancient fire. Picture wooden homes nestled against snowy hillsides, their windows glowing like amber jewels against the darkness. Inside, families gather around massive logs burning in stone hearths, the flames dancing with shadows that have witnessed this ritual for over 1,000 years of midwinter celebrations. The Yule log crackles and sparks, filling the air with the scent of burning oak and pine. Children press their faces against frost-etched windows, watching northern lights paint the sky in sheets of green and gold. This is Christmas, born from darkness, a celebration that honors both the longest night and the promise of returning light, ancient and eternal. Across the North Sea, in the misty countryside of Victorian Britain, Christmas takes on an eerily enchanting form. Picture grand manor houses where families gather by roaring fires, not for warmth alone, but to share ghost stories that send delightful shivers down their spines. The tradition began as winter entertainment, transforming dark December nights into theatrical stages for supernatural tales. Candlelight flickers across eager faces as grandfather's voice drops to a whisper, telling tales of phantom coaches and spectral visitors. Outside, fog rolls across the moors like ghostly fingers, while inside, laughter mingles with delicious fright. These stories don't frighten, they enchant, creating magical moments where families bond over shared thrills and the cozy safety of home. Deep in the alpine villages of Germany, Christmas arrives with thunderous hoofbeats and jingling chains. The Krampus run transforms quiet cobblestone streets into stages for ancient drama, where costumed figures race through the darkness. But far from terror, this tradition celebrates the balance between light and shadow, order and wildness, that makes the season complete. Children peek from behind wooden shutters, watching the parade of fur-clad figures dance past their homes. The bells and chains create a rhythm like distant thunder, a heartbeat of tradition that connects modern families to their ancestors. After the run, neighbors gather in warm taverns, sharing mulled wine and stories, the wildness transforming into gentle community celebration. In sun-warmed Mexican plazas, Christmas explodes in bursts of rainbow color. Picture elaborate piñatas swaying gently in evening breezes, their papier-mâché forms crafted into stars and angels, burrows and brilliant flowers. Each creation represents hope, filled with sweet treasures waiting to shower down like blessings from above, transforming Christmas into a celebration of abundance and shared joy. Blindfolded children swing wooden sticks with determined concentration, while families cheer and laugh from beneath spreading jacaranda trees. When the piñata finally breaks, candy and small toys rain down like colorful snow, and everyone scrambles together in delighted chaos. This is Christmas as community festival, where sharing sweetness creates bonds stronger than any ribbon or bow. In Sweden, December 13th brings a different kind of magic. Picture a young girl dressed in flowing white, a crown of flickering candles illuminating her serene face as she glides through darkened hallways. St. Lucia's Day transforms the longest nights into processions of light, where families wake to the gentle glow of tradition and the sweet aroma of saffron buns. Around the breakfast table, golden light from the Lucia crown reflects in sleepy eyes and steaming coffee cups. This moment captures everything beautiful about Christmas: the quiet reverence, the gentle service, the way light shared becomes light multiplied. Here, in this simple ceremony, strangers across the world recognize the universal language of goodwill and togetherness. Halfway around the world, Christmas arrives on golden sandy beaches, where surf meets shore in endless rhythm. Picture Australian families spreading colorful blankets beneath palm trees, their Christmas feast accompanied by the gentle crash of ocean waves instead of crackling fires. Here, Santa arrives by surfboard rather than sleigh, proving that joy adapts to every landscape. Children build sandcastles instead of snowmen, decorating them with seashells and tropical flowers. The Christmas tree might be a decorated palm, but the laughter echoing across the beach sounds exactly the same as joy heard in snowy villages, thousands of miles away. This is Christmas without boundaries, celebration that transcends climate and geography to touch every heart. So we discover that Christmas wears many faces, sometimes dressed in pristine white snow, sometimes painted in brilliant tropical greens and blues. The colors change, the temperatures shift, the decorations transform, but the essence remains constant. Whether gathered around fires or beneath stars, families everywhere seek the same magical connection during this special season. As our journey across the Christmas world comes to a gentle close, we carry with us these images of diverse celebration. From icicles to palm fronds, from ghost stories to beach picnics, each tradition adds its own thread to the beautiful tapestry of human joy. Close your eyes now, and let these global Christmas dreams carry you peacefully into sleep. Chapter 12. Vintage Velvet. White versus Green Christmas. In cobblestone streets of old Vienna, snowflakes dance like tiny angels, each crystal catching lamplight as it falls. Children press noses against frosted windows, watching winter paint the world in pristine white. This is Christmas as we imagine it, wrapped in vintage velvet darkness, where carols echo through narrow alleys and hot cocoa steams in candle-lit cafes. The white Christmas carries centuries of longing, born from northern European winters, where survival meant gathering close, sharing warmth and stories. Here, Christmas means heavy coats and mittens, breath visible in crisp air, the satisfying crunch of snow beneath boots. Church bells ring across frozen squares, their bronze voices carrying through still air. calling families to midnight services where candles flicker like earthbound stars. But travel south across oceans, past the equator where seasons reverse their ancient dance, and Christmas blooms under blazing sun. In Sydney Harbour, families gather on beaches, children building sandcastles instead of snowmen. The Southern Cross glitters overhead, while barbecues sizzle and surf crashes nearby. This green Christmas pulses with different energy, warm and bright, where Santa arrives in board shorts and Christmas dinner happens outdoors. Australian Christmas trees stand proud against azure skies, their branches heavy with gifts wrapped in paper that won't wilt in humidity. Cicadas provide the soundtrack, their rhythmic chorus replacing sleigh bells. Swimming pools become gathering places, where extended families splash and laugh, trading snow angels for pool games. Here Christmas means sunscreen and shade, cold drinks and ceiling fans, celebration under eucalyptus trees that smell of summer and freedom. Between these two worlds moves a solitary traveller, a man whose passport bears stamps from countless Christmases. He carries no luggage, save memories, each December, adding new layers to his understanding. His eyes hold the wisdom of contrast, having witnessed Christmas through multiple lenses, understanding that tradition adapts like water, taking the shape of whatever vessel contains it, yet remaining essentially unchanged at its core. In Prague he stood beneath Gothic spires, watching snow transform the ancient city into a fairy tale. Market stalls sold gingerbread and mulled wine, their wooden booths glowing like tiny theatres. Children sledded down Castle Hill, their laughter echoing off stone walls built centuries before their grandparents were born. The traveller pulled his coat closer, feeling Christmas settle into his bones like warmth from a hearth, deep and comforting. He walked through Christmas markets where vendors' breath mingled with steam from roasted chestnuts, creating small clouds that disappeared into winter air. Everything moved slowly here, deliberately, as if the cold demanded reverence. Couples walked arm in arm, their footsteps muffled by fresh snow, creating intimate moments in public spaces. The traveller understood why poets wrote of white Christmases, why hearts yearned for this specific magic, this marriage of light and darkness. Months later, his plane descended into Melbourne heat, the December sun striking his face like a gentle slap of awakening. Palm trees lined the runway, their fronds dancing in warm breezes that carried salt and possibility. He traded heavy coats for light cotton, winter boots for sandals, understanding that Christmas was about to show him another face, equally valid, equally joyful, yet startlingly different from anything Northern Hemisphere minds typically envision. On Bondi Beach, he watched surfers ride waves while wearing Santa hats, their boards cutting through water that sparkled like liquid diamonds. Families spread blankets on sand, unpacking Christmas lunch from coolers filled with ice. Children built sand sculptures, their creativity unleashed under endless blue skies. The traveller removed his shoes, feeling warm sand between his toes, realizing that Christmas warmth could be literal as well as metaphorical, sun on skin replacing fireplace glow. He sat at outdoor cafes where Christmas carols played through speakers, the familiar melodies, strange against backgrounds of beach umbrellas and palm trees. Ice cream replaced hot chocolate, swimming replaced ice skating, yet families gathered just the same, sharing gifts and laughter under Southern Hemisphere stars. The traveller marveled at adaptation, how human hearts find ways to celebrate regardless of weather, creating meaning in any season, any climate, any corner of the spinning earth. Both Christmases lived in him now, white and green, cold and warm, traditional and adapted. He understood that neither was more authentic, neither more beautiful, only different expressions of the same deep human need to mark time, to gather, to give, to remember that light returns even in darkness, that love persists even across oceans, that celebration transcends geography, taking root wherever hearts decide to plant it. His journey continued westward, across continents where Christmas took yet more forms, each adaptation teaching him that tradition was less about replication and more about intention. He travelled through time zones, watching the sun rise and set on countless celebrations, each unique yet connected, like notes in a global symphony, each playing its part, each contributing to a harmony that spanned hemispheres, cultures, and countless human hearts, seeking connection. Finally, his wandering brought him to an unexpected place, where Christmas would reveal perhaps its strangest face. The landscape stretched endlessly, neither green nor white, but golden brown, dotted with scrub brush and resilience. Wind moved constantly here, sculpting sand into temporary shapes, erasing and rebuilding, creating beauty through impermanence. This was desert, where survival meant understanding that nothing lasts, yet everything endures in different forms. He stood at the edge of vastness, watching tumbleweeds roll across highways like nature's Christmas ornaments, each one carrying seeds of possibility, each journey a story of adaptation. The desert taught patience, showed how life found ways to bloom even in harshest conditions, how beauty emerged from scarcity, how celebration could happen anywhere, even in places where snow never fell, where beaches never beckoned, where only wind and space provided the soundtrack. As evening approached, the desert transformed, painted in shades of amber and rose, the sky becoming a canvas for colors. Northern climates rarely knew. Stars appeared gradually, each one sharp and clear in air, unmarked by city lights, unmarked by moisture, unmarked by anything but space and possibility. The traveler breathed deeply, tasting dust and sage, understanding that Christmas was preparing to surprise him once more, in ways he never imagined possible. Wind caught his hair, carrying whispers of approaching revelation, hints of how human creativity could transform even the most unlikely materials into symbols of celebration. Somewhere ahead waited a tradition born from necessity, from making do, from finding joy in unexpected places. The tumbleweed rolled past like a promise, a reminder that Christmas belonged not to any single climate, but to the human imagination, capable of creating wonder anywhere, anytime, from anything. In the vast silence of the American Southwest, where ancient sands stretch endlessly beneath car-cold winter skies, a peculiar magic unfolds each December. Here, where snow never falls, where cacti stand sentinel against the horizon, communities have discovered their own way to embrace the Christmas spirit. Tonight we venture into this arid wonderland, where creativity blooms like desert flowers after rare rain, transforming the harsh landscape into something unexpectedly tender. The desert holds secrets, whispered by winds that carry tumbleweeds across endless plains. These dried spheres of sage and Russian thistle, born from summer heat and autumn winds, become the unlikely stars of a Christmas tradition, as unique as the landscape itself. In towns scattered across Arizona, New Mexico, and beyond, families gather not to build snowmen, but to craft something entirely their own from nature's desert gifts. Chapter 13. Silent Sands, a Tumbleweed Christmas. The temperature drops as evening approaches, desert air growing crisp and clean. Stars begin their nightly emergence, brilliant against the darkening sky. In a small Arizona town, porch lights flicker on like earthbound constellations, and families emerge from adobe homes carrying strange supplies, bundles of wire, colorful scarves, and carved wooden branches, ready to participate in their community's most beloved December ritual. The chosen tumbleweeds rest in careful piles, collected throughout the year like treasured ornaments. Each one tells a story of summer storms and desert winds, of journeys across vast landscapes guided only by nature's breath. Children run between the spherical bundles, selecting the perfect specimens, their excited voices echoing across the still desert air, while adults examine the dried branches with the careful eye of experienced craftsmen. The assembly begins with reverent hands, 3 tumbleweeds stacked with engineering precision. The largest forms a sturdy base, its tangled branches providing natural grip for the smaller sphere above. The smallest, destined to become the head, perches precariously, requiring gentle manipulation and patient adjustment. Wire holds what nature cannot, creating structural integrity, while preserving the organic chaos of wind-blown sage and Russian thistle that defines these desert wanderers. Neighbors emerge from surrounding homes, drawn by the familiar sounds of December construction. They carry offerings, buttons, salvaged from old coats, twigs gathered from mesquite trees, strips of bright fabric that will soon transform into festive scarves. The desert community gathers around their growing creation, voices soft in the cold air, hands working together with the practiced ease of shared tradition, each person contributing to something larger than themselves. Gentle arguments arise over button placement, friendly debates about scarf color, quiet discussions about the perfect angle for stick arms. Children offer suggestions with enthusiastic gestures, while adults consider each proposal with mock seriousness. The tumbleweed snowman takes shape slowly, deliberately, each addition requiring consensus, each choice reflecting the community's collective vision, their shared understanding of beauty found in the most unlikely materials and circumstances. Mesquite branches become arms, their natural curves suggesting welcoming gestures. Black buttons, rescued from forgotten garments, transform into coal dark eyes that seem to twinkle with mischief. A carrot, orange and bright against the muted desert palette, provides the classic nose, while smaller twigs create a smiling mouth that speaks of joy discovered in simplicity, of celebration that requires no snow, no cold, only imagination and community spirit. The red bandana, weathered and soft from years of use, drapes naturally around the tumbleweed neck. Its faded color speaks of southwestern heritage, of cowboy traditions and desert life, of practical beauty born from necessity. Children step back to admire their work, heads tilted in artistic assessment, while adults make final adjustments, ensuring every element sits perfectly, creating harmony between the natural chaos of tumbleweed and the deliberate order of human creativity. Thermos bottles appear, filled with hot chocolate and coffee, steam rising into the cold desert air like incense offerings. The community pauses in their work, hands wrapped around warm mugs, voices sharing stories of previous years, of tumbleweed snowmen past, of desert Christmases that challenge traditional expectations while creating something entirely new, entirely theirs, entirely perfect for this harsh yet beautiful landscape they call home. Final touches require careful consideration. A string of battery-powered lights wound through the tumbleweed branches, creating a gentle glow that mimics fireflies or distant stars brought closer to Earth. Each bulb nestles naturally within the dried sage, the warm light filtering through organic spaces, casting intricate shadows on the desert floor, transforming the assembled tumbleweeds into something magical, something that bridges the gap between natural chaos and human artistry. Someone produces a battered cowboy hat, its leather darkened by years of desert sun, its brim shaped by countless storms. The hat settles naturally atop the uppermost tumbleweed, completing the transformation from roadside debris to beloved community member. The figure now stands complete, arms outstretched in perpetual welcome, face beaming with button eyes and twig smile, a testament to human creativity, finding expression in the most unexpected materials and places. The community steps back, their creation illuminated against the star-filled sky, a beacon of warmth in the cold desert night. Children clap with delight, adults nod with satisfaction, neighbors exchange pleased glances that speak of tradition honored, of creativity celebrated, of community strengthened through shared endeavor. The tumbleweed snowman stands sentinel now, guardian of desert Christmas magic, proof that celebration adapts, that joy finds expression wherever human hearts gather with intent. Throughout the night, the figure will stand watch, its gentle lights twinkling like earthbound stars, its presence a reminder that Christmas magic requires no specific climate, no particular materials, only willing hearts and creative spirits. Desert winds will whisper through its sage branches, carrying the scent of creosote and distant rain, while coyotes sing their ancient songs, and the tumbleweed snowman smiles into the infinite darkness, content in its temporary existence. As families return to their warm homes, as porch lights dim one by one, the desert reclaims its ancient silence. Yet something has changed. Something wonderful has been added to this vast landscape. The tumbleweed snowman remains, a symbol of human adaptability, of creativity that transforms limitation into celebration, of communities that create their own traditions when existing ones don't fit their unique circumstances, their particular brand of seasonal magic. This desert Christmas creation stands as more than seasonal decoration. It represents humanity's endless capacity for reimagining celebration, for finding joy in unexpected places, for creating beauty from the most unlikely materials. Such creativity has shaped Christmas traditions across centuries, across cultures, transforming ancient rituals into new expressions of wonder, as we shall discover when we explore how human imagination has continuously reshaped this most beloved of holidays throughout history. Chapter 14. Dreamy Doodles. Festive inventions of tomorrow. In a classroom filled with winter light, children gather around tables scattered with colored paper and glue sticks. Their assignment is simple yet profound. Invent a Christmas tradition for the year 2050. Little hands sketch and dream, while snow falls gently outside. Each child's imagination becomes a bridge between today's cherished customs and tomorrow's endless possibilities. The room hums with creative energy and holiday magic. 8-year-old Maya traces careful circles on construction paper. Her project envisions Christmas trees that grow from digital seeds, planted in virtual soil, but somehow sprouting real branches. She imagines families gathering around these hybrid wonders, half technology, half nature. Their lights would pulse with the heartbeats of loved ones far away, connecting distant relatives through gentle, synchronized glowing. Maya's crayon moves slowly, as she colors her impossible tree, each stroke filled with innocent possibility. Across the room, 10-year-old David sketches a sleigh powered by solar panels and kindness. He explains to his teacher how Santa's reindeer could rest while clean energy carries gifts across the sky. The sleigh would be guided not by GPS, but by the warmth of children's dreams. David's drawing shows Santa wearing a suit that changes colors based on global happiness levels. Green for joy, blue for peace, gold for wonder. His invention merges ancient magic with modern hope. The children's ideas flow like hot cocoa on a winter evening, slow and warming. Some imagine stockings that knit themselves with memories. Others design snow globes that capture family laughter and play it back during lonely moments. 9-year-old Sarah creates carol-singing robots that harmonize with human voices, never replacing the warmth of community, but amplifying it. Each invention honors the past while embracing an unknown but hopeful future. The classroom becomes a workshop of dreams. In the corner sits Emma, 11 years old with paint-smudged fingers and eyes bright with concentration. While others focus on gadgets and inventions, she works on something different. Her project explores how kindness itself might evolve. She envisions a world where technology amplifies human compassion, rather than replacing it. Emma's careful sketches show hearts connected by invisible threads, golden lines that strengthen with each act of generosity. Her imagination tackles the deepest question of all. Emma's design takes shape slowly, deliberately. She calls it the Festive Kindness app. But this isn't just another digital tool. In her vision, the app translates good deeds into real-world magic. When someone helps a neighbor, somewhere else a Christmas light glows brighter. When a child shares their lunch, a family feels unexpected warmth. Emma understands intuitively what adults sometimes forget, that technology should serve the heart, not the other way round. Her crayon traces gentle curves and swirling patterns. The teacher moves between tables like a gentle guardian, observing these young visionaries reshape Christmas for generations yet unborn. She sees in their work a profound truth, that tradition isn't about preserving the past unchanged, but about carrying its spirit forward. The children don't abandon old customs, they transform them. Santa's beard might be holographic, but his smile remains warm. Christmas cookies might be printed from starlight, but they're still shared with love. Innovation serves connection, not the reverse. Emma continues refining her kindness app, adding features that exist only in dreams. She imagines notifications that appear as gentle whispers rather than harsh beeps, reminders that suggest acts of kindness based on what the world needs most that day. Her app wouldn't track users for profit, but for purpose, measuring not engagement but empathy, not clicks but compassion. In Emma's future Christmas, technology becomes invisible, present only to amplify the human heart's natural desire to give. As afternoon light fades through classroom windows, the children's projects near completion, each invention reveals something beautiful about young minds. They don't see technology as cold or isolating, but as another language for expressing love. Their future Christmas maintains every tradition that matters: family gatherings, gift-giving, shared meals, but enhanced by innovations that bring people closer rather than drive them apart. These children are architects of a warmer tomorrow, building bridges between human and digital. Emma puts finishing touches on her app's most important feature, the Wonder Generator. She explains how it would create small miracles, nothing flashy or overwhelming, just gentle moments that remind people magic exists. A lost mitten appearing in a pocket, a favorite song playing unexpectedly, a rainbow after rain. Emma understands that wonder isn't about grand gestures, but about noticing beauty that was always there. Her app simply helps people see, like putting on glasses for the soul. The presentation begins as snow continues falling outside. Each child shares their invention with quiet pride. Some ideas are wildly imaginative, others surprisingly practical, but all share common threads: connection over isolation, warmth over efficiency, heart over hardware. When Emma's turn arrives, she stands slowly, holding her colorful drawings like sacred texts. Her voice is soft but certain. She has discovered something important about Christmas, something that transcends time and technology, something eternal. Emma explains her kindness app with the wisdom of ancient storytellers. She describes how it would work not through screens but through hearts, how acts of generosity would ripple outward like stones dropped in still water, creating waves that reach the loneliest corners of the world. Her classmates listen with rapt attention, recognizing truth when they hear it. Emma's invention isn't really about technology at all. It's about remembering that Christmas magic flows through human connection, through choosing love over fear. As Emma concludes her presentation, something shifts in the room. The other children begin to see their own inventions differently, not as replacements for old traditions, but as new expressions of timeless values. Santa's solar sleigh still carries wonder, just powered by hope instead of hay. Digital Christmas trees still gather families, they just expand the definition of home. Emma's gentle insight illuminates a profound truth. The future of Christmas isn't about choosing between old and new, but about weaving them together. The teacher watches these young philosophers with growing amazement. They have solved puzzles that baffle adults. How to embrace progress without losing soul. How to innovate while honoring tradition. How to use technology as a tool for connection rather than distraction. Emma's Kindness app becomes a metaphor for all their inventions, each one designed not to replace human warmth but to amplify it, not to automate love, but to help it flourish. These children are tomorrow's wisdom keepers. As the project day ends and children pack their drawings, Emma makes one final addition to her design. She sketches a small heart in the corner, simple and perfect. This heart represents her deepest understanding that no matter how Christmas evolves, no matter what technologies emerge or traditions transform, the essential spirit remains unchanged. Love-seeking expression, heart-seeking connection, strangers becoming family, giving becoming receiving. Emma's crayon captures what philosophers struggle to explain. Christmas is love made visible. The classroom empties as twilight deepens. But the dreams sketched on construction paper continue glowing. Each child's invention a promise, a possibility, a pathway to tomorrow. Emma's Kindness app leads them all, reminding us that the future of Christmas isn't written in code, but in courage, not programmed by machines, but powered by hearts. Whatever forms our celebrations take, however traditions evolve, the magic will endure, because Christmas, in its deepest essence, will always be about love, curiosity, and wonder, timeless and infinite. Chapter 15. Silent Night, Holy Night, a gentle farewell. The winter night embraces us with velvet darkness, stars scattered like diamonds across the endless sky. Snowflakes drift down in perfect silence, each one a whispered prayer from heaven above. Through the gentle snowfall, we see the warm glow of a small stone chapel. Its windows cast golden light onto the pristine snow, beckoning us toward this sacred place where our journey finds its peaceful conclusion tonight. The chapel door opens with barely a whisper, revealing rows of wooden pews bathed in candlelight. Ancient stones hold centuries of Christmas prayers, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hands seeking comfort. The air carries hints of pine and beeswax, mingling with the gentle warmth radiating from within. This is where stories converge, where the threads of Christmas traditions from across the world gather into one beautiful tapestry of human connection and shared wonder. A small choir stands at the altar, their faces illuminated by flickering candlelight. Their voices rise in gentle harmony, singing the timeless words of Silent Night. The melody floats through the chapel like a prayer, carrying with it the essence of Christmas peace. Each note seems to gather the memories we have shared, the peculiar traditions, the heartfelt celebrations, the moments of wonder that connect us all across time and distance in this beautiful season. From Austria to Iceland, from Mexico to Japan, the echoes of our journey whisper through the chapel walls. We remember the Krampus bells, the 13 Yule lads bringing gifts, the radiant processions of Las Posadas, the miraculous Christmas spider weaving her silver threads. Each tradition a unique note, each culture a verse in the great song of Christmas that has been growing richer and more beautiful for centuries across our world. The choir continues their gentle chant, voices weaving together like golden threads in twilight. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. The words wash over us like gentle waves, carrying away the weight of the day, the worries of tomorrow. Here in this moment, surrounded by the warm glow of candlelight and the soft beauty of falling snow, we understand that Christmas lives not in grand gestures, but in quiet moments of connection. Through the chapel windows, we see families walking home through the snow, their footsteps creating paths of belonging in the pristine white. Children skip ahead, their laughter creating small clouds in the crisp air, while parents follow with arms full of parcels and hearts full of love. The scene reminds us that Christmas traditions, no matter how peculiar their origins, all lead to the same destination, the warmth of home and the comfort of togetherness. The candles flicker gently in the chapel. their warm light dancing across the stone walls where countless Christmas services have been held. We can almost see the generations who have gathered here, sharing the same songs, the same hopes, the same gentle faith in the power of love, to transform ordinary moments into something sacred. Time seems to fold upon itself, past and present becoming one in this space of eternal peace. Outside, the snow continues its silent dance, each flake finding its perfect place in the growing blanket of winter white. The world seems to hold its breath, wrapped in the hush that only comes with fresh snowfall. Trees stand like gentle guardians, their branches heavy with snow and starlight, creating a natural cathedral that mirrors the sacred space where we have found ourselves on this quiet Christmas evening filled with wonder and reflection. The choir's voices grow softer now, their song becoming a lullaby that seems to embrace everyone within these ancient walls. We think of all the Christmas traditions we have discovered, each one born from someone's desire to create magic, to bring light to darkness, to forge connections across the distances that separate us. Whether strange or familiar, they all serve the same beautiful purpose, to remind us we are not alone, from the Yule log's ancient flames, to the Christmas spider's silver web, from the shoes left out for the three kings, to the letters written to the Christ-kind. Each tradition carries within it a seed of hope. Hope that magic is real, that kindness matters, that tomorrow can be better than today. These beliefs, passed down through generations, create an invisible thread connecting hearts across continents and cultures in the universal language of Christmas love. The chapel bells begin to chime, their bronze voices joining the choir in a harmony that seems to reach beyond the walls, beyond the village, across the snow-covered landscape to touch every home where Christmas lives. 12 gentle chimes marking midnight, marking the end of our journey, marking the beginning of countless new Christmas memories yet to be made by families gathering in their own sacred spaces tonight. As the final note of Silent Night fades into the hushed air, we feel a deep sense of completion, like a story that has found its perfect ending. The candles continue their gentle flickering, the snow continues its silent falling, and somewhere in the distance, church bells echo the message that has travelled through centuries: peace on earth, goodwill toward all. This is the gift Christmas offers, not just once a year, but always. The chapel grows quieter still, as if settling into sleep along with the world outside. The choir members bow their heads in quiet prayer, their voices now just whispers carried on the gentle night air. We understand now that Christmas magic lies not in the peculiar details of each tradition, but in the shared human need to create moments of wonder, to pause in our busy lives and remember what truly matters most. Through the frosted windows, the stars shine with particular brightness, as if they too are celebrating this quiet Christmas night. The Bethlehem star, the guiding lights of countless traditions, all seem gathered above this small chapel, where our global Christmas story finds its gentle conclusion. Each star a reminder that wonder can be found anywhere, that magic lives in the simplest moments when we choose to see it clearly. The warm glow from the chapel slowly dims as candles burn lower, creating longer shadows that dance peacefully across the ancient stones. Our journey through the world's most peculiar Christmas traditions has brought us here, to this place of rest, this moment of quiet gratitude. We have learned that every tradition, no matter how strange it might seem, springs from the same source, the human heart's eternal desire to celebrate love and create lasting connections. And so we leave you here, in this chapel of starlight and snow, where Silent Night continues to echo in the gentle spaces between heartbeats. May your dreams be filled with the warm magic of Christmas traditions, both familiar and wonderfully strange. May you find peace in the knowledge that somewhere in the world, someone is lighting a candle, hanging a stocking, sharing a story, keeping the spirit of Christmas alive through another gentle night.